y'all. This is a special bonus clip from my conversation with Carmen Price Carrillo. In this moment, we talk about what it means to say yes to joy and how hard it can be to say no when you love your people. Carmen shares her favorite advice from therapy, her go-to boundaries around time and energy, and the power of having friends who say, "I'm proud of you," for simply showing up. Let's get into it. I'd like to ask you questions I've been asking every guest.
Mm-hmm.
And the first question is, what is something that it is easy for you to say yes to?
It's generally pretty easy for me to say yes to helping others, I feel like. I think that has always been something that's felt easy to just be like, oh, this person needs help or has asked for help. Or if someone's like, oh, I want to go do this, to be able to jump in and be like, I'll go do it with you. Or if someone wants to try something, that has always kind of been easier for me to say yes to than it has been for me to say it for myself. It always seems kind of easier to do that for other people or friends.
Yeah.
Is just say yes to helping.
I think that is probably very common, especially among women.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy for us to say, yes, of course I'll help.
And it's nice at times. I think the changes in conversations I've had with friends that I've grown with and friends that I've had for a number of years of like realizing like, oh, you feel the same exact anxiety that I do, or you have trouble saying this to yourself and being like, hey, it's okay to take a pottery class on Thursday. You're not being lazy. You're not wasting time that you could be doing something else. It's okay to do that. And like, I know that I would tell that to you and be like, yeah, girl, go do that. And I can tell that to myself. And then I think both of those help me have those conversations with someone else. Like, I struggle to tell myself that. I think you do too. Let's be kinder to ourselves.
Yes.
And let's say yes to things that we want to do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good lesson. So what is something that it is hard for you to say no to?
I think it's been hard for me to say no to doing too much. I think there have been times in my life where I've kind of like packed my schedule full and I've said yes to things and I have something most days of the week. And there have been times where life has just been like, here's this roadblock, and none of that gets to stay. None of that gets to continue on. And so I think it's been hard for me sometimes to say no to things and say, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to stay that long, or I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because I'll think, no, I want to spend time with these people. I love these friends. But it's hard sometimes to say no to things just in general, and to say, yeah, I want to save some time for myself. And my therapist gave me a really good suggestion recently of when you're coming back into the world after being out of the world for a little bit and you're going to want to say yes to all of the things and be like, yeah, I'm back to being myself. And she was like, don't do that. She's like, if you say yes to something on Wednesday, take Thursday off. If you say yes to something on a Saturday, take Sunday off. Like, give yourself that buffer of time. Don't fill your entire weekend with things for other people. It's okay to like sleep on Sunday. It's okay. She was like, your body is going to need that. You're going to have these endorphins that rush through you and you get the joy of seeing people. But that next day you're going to be like, yeah, I kind of just don't want to see people.
Yeah.
So finding that balance sometimes of like, okay, I have pottery. I don't really want to say yes to things on a Friday. I want to give myself that kind of break. So that's been a process of saying no to things and knowing that it's okay to say no.
It is 100% okay to say no.
Yeah. And it's hard when you, like, I look back, and therapy has made me think about a lot about my friendships and my relationships with people. And I'm like, I don't have people around me that would be like, wow, you suck. Like, you don't want to hang, like, no one would be like,
or
you
even
don't want to
just
hang out with me.
But also nobody who questions like, oh, you left so early, or oh, you missed this thing that we agreed to do. Like, none of us say that.
There's so many times where I've like shown up to pottery and I'm like, I'm not having a great day. I don't totally like want to leave my house, but I know that I should. And I'm like, I'm going to show up in my paint glaze stained apron my little black overalls that I wear almost every time to pottery so that I don't have to think about what to wear. And like, Donna's not going to care how I show up. I showed up, and that's enough. I have been really uplifted. One of my friends kept saying, I'm proud of you. And she's like, you came out to this play. I'm proud of you. You came over to my house to watch Drag Race. I'm proud of you. And like, she kept saying it. And I knew that she was entirely genuine and she meant it. And I had a conversation with her one day where I was like, that's been really helpful. I was like, I don't think you know how much that means to me to have it. Like, you put on PJs and you got into your car and you drove to my house and we're sitting watching Drag Race and eating fried rice and noodles. And most people would be like, why would you say I'm proud of you? But it's like, yeah, I came. And it's like, I'm proud of you for that. And then it's also like, yeah, I took a nap the next day. And she's like, and I'm proud of you for that.
Well, one, I was going to say, it sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And then two, you're doing something for yourself.
You're still doing something for yourself.
Yeah.
You're still finding that joy, that moment of connection. This is a friend who's watched every single episode, every single season of Drag Race that you can find. And so to be able to sit in that joy and watch her unbridled joy with something she loves and being able to share it with someone she loves and then finding something that I love. For a lot of people, I think you would look like from a society standpoint of that's just a normal thing or that's not a thing to find, to celebrate or to find joy in. And it's like, but it is.
Celebrate all the things.
Celebrate all the things. Find all the joy. Just feel happiness. Try it.
That. Okay. So the last two questions are, when it comes to rest or joy or self-care or boundaries along these themes, what do you do really well?
I think I do really well at...
Take your time.
Wait, ask me.
Get
some water.
We'll take a water break.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is not sponsored by Propel.
But it could be.
I love us.
I love us too. Okay. When it comes to rest, joy, boundaries, self-care, what are you doing well?
I think right now what I'm doing well is finding and cultivating those things that bring me joy and finding the space for them. I think we talked earlier about the reading, and I used to love it as a kid. I stopped reading when I got into school, and then you have to read for school, and I didn't find as much joy in it, and I didn't find the time for it. And I think for some people, the way that I've gotten back into reading is might be stressful for them. But I track my reading every day of how many pages I read, how long it took me to finish a book. But for me, it's kind of given me that sense of connection to it that I think I was missing, and that sense of pride in it, and finding that time to say, okay, I am going to take the time to read every day. And there are some days I read for 15 minutes. I don't get very far in the book. Some books take me a really long time to read. Some books, I still remember, this is the funniest thing to me, there was a tiny book called How to Focus. It took me like 3 weeks. It was like a 50-page book. But it was like so dense, and I was trying to understand it. And I was like, you know what? It's okay.
It's okay.
So I think I've been doing a lot better recently about like cultivating the time and space for that and protecting that time. I've done that with the pottery class of just whatever I make is what I make. I'm not trying to do it for money. I have these goals that I would love to hit, but it's okay if I get there in 6 months. It's okay if it takes me 2 years.
Yeah.
It's okay. And I'm very much trying to continue to protect that space and not get mad at myself for not being good at something. I mean, I will try wheel throwing again. We tried it once.
I will as well.
Super well.
It was not great.
But I had so much fun just sitting.
Yeah, me too.
Trying to have a teacher keep telling us, you got to center the clay, and feeling like, I'm not centered. How am I supposed to center this clay?
Right?
Because it was a struggle, man.
It was a struggle.
But
Maybe there's a lesson in that.
maybe there's a lesson in the clay that I could not find. Denied. But I made a blob. And
Yeah.
it was on there, and it didn't go, and it didn't hit anyone in the face. It didn't come sliding off of the thing, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
So I think trying to right now cultivate those spaces and continue to kind of protect them from myself and from my anxieties and my self-doubt and my self-criticism, and just say, this is a space where I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to be happy while I do it. I'm allowed to feel however I want while I'm doing it. I'm allowed to read whatever I want. I'm an adult. No one can tell me to go to bed. And it's just...
Yeah, why do I tell myself to go to bed?
Yeah.
Because it's good for me.
I mean, it's good for me, and you should get
a good amount of sleep.
And you should go to sleep.
But also,
I was on this trip with a friend, and we found that time to read. We listened to audiobooks together. We would listen to our own audiobook while we were driving, and then someone's reading in the passenger seat. So to have those moments of, my friend described it as alone but together moments.
Yeah.
Where it's like we can each be reading our own book, but we're together and we're reading and we're both sharing that space for each other. Like, it's okay to take this time to read, and we don't have to fill up 2,500 miles of driving time. We can just be and exist together.
I love that.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Last question is, where could you still do some work?
I think I could still do some work in just giving myself grace. Just saying it's okay to nap, and it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have those days that you're not okay. I think that's been kind of my journey right now, has been trying to figure out how to give myself more grace and how to be kinder to myself and not let that part of my brain in as much. So that's been, I think it's a process, I'm doing the things that I should be doing. I'm seeing friends. I'm allowing myself to find joy. I love my therapist. She's great. Weekly sessions with her have been wonderful. And also giving myself that support and giving myself that, because she does the same thing my friend does, where she's like, I'm proud of you for that. And I was like, thanks. And she was like, I mean, you don't need my pride. You don't need that justification for it. But she was like, I know you like it. And I was like, thank you for understanding.
Yeah. And giving me the thing
space
that I need. Yeah.
So being able to say, I took a day off, I rested, and for someone to say, that's okay, that's good, has been giving me that ability to say it to myself.
Thanks for listening. Sometimes rest looks like fried rice and drag race, and sometimes the win is just putting on your paint-stained apron and showing up. If this resonated with you, make sure to listen to the full episode with Carmen and check out my new newsletter, The Joyful Rebellion, at thedawnlab.kit.com. Thanks for being here. And remember, boundaries are love, especially when they're for yourself.